Good morning. Hope you are having a great start to your day. We learn this week and today in the Chitas and the Chumash that we learn, we read about the epic meeting, the first meeting between Jacob, our forefather, our patriarch, and Rachel, who would become his wife, who we loved so dearly. Of course, many of you have been to Israel, you've been to the tomb of Rachel. Rachel is considered the mother of the Jewish people more than all the other matriarchs, and for many reasons. But this week we read about the meeting of the first time between the two of them. And it says Jacob meets her, he kisses her, and he starts crying. It's his cousin. Why is he crying? The rabbis give many interpretations. But Rashi brings one interesting midrash that says like this. Jacob felt terrible. Here he is. He's coming to meet his beloved wife. And like everyone, you want to make an impression. You want to shower them with gifts, with presents. And Jacob came empty-handed. He says, my father sent his servant, not even him. And he came with 10 camels laden with gifts and everything else. And look at me. I came empty. As Jacob says in next week's Torah portion, when he meets Esau finally, he says, Kiba makli avartis hayarden. I went across the river to come to Lavan to meet Rachel. I only had my stick. I had nothing else. And the Midrash tells us a fascinating story. You remember in the end of last week's Torah portion, Esau was upset at Jacob about the blessings and he wanted to kill him. Isaac tells his son, go to Rebekah's family and find yourself a match. But Esau didn't forget, and he sent his son Eliphaz to go catch Jacob and to kill him. And Eliphaz caught up with Jacob, and he wanted to kill him. But he grew up the Midrash says he grew up at his grandfather's lap. His grandfather was Isaac, the patriarch, and he felt guilty. He couldn't do it. So he looks at Jacob, he says, what should I do? My dad told me I have to kill you, but I don't want to kill you. So Jacob says, someone who doesn't have anything, who is poor beyond anything, doesn't own anything, is considered like he's dead. Take all my wealth. And then I'll be like I'm dead. And that's what Eliphaz did. He took everything away from Jacob, and that's why Jacob only passed with the stick and came with empty-handed to meet Rachel. According to the Midrash, that's why he cried. So Isaac did give him gifts, laden with stuff, but Eliphaz took it all. What's the message here? This little deep message that's so powerful that we can learn from this whole story. Eliphaz was the father of Amalek, the worst and most hated enemy of the Jewish people. Eliphaz himself, the rabbis say, had relationships with a married woman with his own children, from which Amalek was born later. Yet, when it came to killing Jacob, Eliphaz refused. Why? Says the Midrash, because he grew up at his grandfather's lap. Imagine how many reasons Isaac had to chase away his grandson and say, you're a no goodnik, you're evil, look who you're so promiscuous, I don't want you near me. But yet, Isaac had an unconditional love for his grandson. And because of that love, you might have thought it was in vain, for naught. Because of that love, it nurtured within Eliphaz that he didn't want to kill, and he didn't want to kill his uncle. Isaac is, in the three patriarchs, there's chesed. Abraham is kindness, Isaac is strength, awe, and Jacob is compassion. Isaac was strength, pachad yitzchok, we say, the fear of Isaac. If anyone had a reason to chase away his grandson who was acting in such an immoral way, Isaac, but yet it teaches us that we should never give up on our children. Unconditional love. We have to nurture them. We have to discipline them. We have to teach them. But you never give up on children. And that's what we learn from Isaac. Isaac didn't give up even on Esau. Don't forget, Rebekah gave up, so to speak, on Esau and wanted the blessings to Jacob. Isaac always saw the potential. That's what we learn from the forefather, Yitzchak, to always nurture and love unconditionally and try to bring and lift up our children. I always think about this because this is what the Rebbe taught us about every Jew. He says you never give up on another human being. You never give up on a Jew. You might think they're evil, they're off the beaten path, they're so disconnected, they don't care about their Judaism. The Rebbe taught us to have unconditional love. And that with unconditional love, and without pushing but pulling, you lift them up and you bring them closer to the source of who they truly are. That's what Isaac did with Eliphaz. That's what we have to do with our children. And that's what we have to do as a Jewish community. God bless you and have a great day.